For centuries, there's been a certain kind of knowledge that's been passed down, not in any textbook you can buy, but in whispers. It's the unwritten code of emperors, generals, and maybe most importantly, street-level hustlers. Today, we're opening that book. This is the forbidden playbook, pieced together from centuries of absolutely ruthless strategy. Let's get into it. Think about what they tell you. File your tax returns, use credit cards, be transparent about your business, right? But in the underground, the real players, they file nothing. They never use credit because it leaves a trail. They tell their kids they're poets. See, one side is busy playing by the rules, the other side is busy winning. Look, the idea here is simple. The strategies you were taught in school, they're designed to keep you competing in the game. But the strategies we're about to break down, they're designed to let you rig the game, to give you a completely unfair advantage. This isn't a lesson, it's an arming. So here's our playbook. We're going to start by throwing out the standard business textbook. Then we'll dive right into the 4 central pillars: operating from the shadows, engineering the Godfather offer, weaponizing the narrative, and mastering the human element. And finally, we'll pull it all together into your new unfair advantage. Let's go. Okay, pillar 1. This is all about leverage, and I'm not just talking about financial leverage. I'm talking about psychological leverage. It's about understanding that information is the ultimate currency, and discretion, well, that's your shield. What you know about someone else is your power over them, period. But let's be very, very clear about something. This belief, this feeling of a deep connection, it is not left to chance. This is not about being a good person or making a new friend. It is manufactured through a deliberate, cold, and brutally effective process. It's called Girard's intelligence method. For every single prospect, you start a file, and you record everything: their kids' names, their hobbies, where they went on vacation last year. Why? Because every single detail is ammunition. You use this intel to talk about what they care about, to build this powerful and, frankly, completely artificial illusion of connection that disarms them. Their guard just drops, and the sale, it becomes a foregone conclusion. Now let's move to our second pillar, because this builds on the first. Once you have that psychological leverage, you need an offer that makes saying no logically impossible. This is about crafting something so powerful it just eradicates all resistance. We call this the Godfather offer. It's an offer that's been engineered to be so overwhelmingly valuable, so perfectly tuned to their secret desires, that saying no to it feels like an act of self-sabotage. You see, it's not about persuasion anymore. It's about making the sale an absolute inevitability. And a Godfather offer isn't just about price. Not at all. It's about pure psychology. Just look at this number. Victoria's Secret. They weren't just selling lingerie. They were selling status. By jacking up their prices by almost 200%, they didn't lose customers. They created a whole new reality. They made their product a luxury, an aspiration. That's not just business. That is power. With the first 2 pillars, you can control an individual. With this third pillar, you control the crowd. This is all about mastering perception. It's about understanding that reality is, frankly, secondary to the story people believe. And whoever controls the narrative, well, they control the world. Ryan Holiday, who is a modern master of media manipulation, he just lays the game bare. The entire information ecosystem, from the tiniest blog to the biggest news network, it's a machine. And like any machine, it can be reverse engineered and exploited for your own purposes. So here's how you do it. First, you seed a story, a rumor, a tip, with a small, hungry blog. Then, bigger blogs, desperate for content, see that story and they link back to it. That link creates an illusion of authority. And before anyone can even stop to check the facts, the narrative has gone viral. You've just laundered a rumor into a headline. And here's the crucial part. When people lose trust in the official channels, they turn to unofficial ones. In environments where there's deep cynicism, rumors, they stop being just gossip. They become the primary currency of information. They're actually seen as more credible than the official story you're supposed to believe. And that brings us to the final pillar. This is where we go beyond systems and tactics and get into raw human psychology. It's about understanding that your reputation isn't built on a few big, grand gestures. No, it's built on every single tiny interaction. What does this number mean? 250. It represents the devastating network effect of a single mistake. It's the absolute core of what Joe Girard called his most important law.
This is Girard's Law of 250. He figured out that the average person has a network of about 250 people they could influence. So when you anger one customer, you're not just losing one sale, you are potentially poisoning the well with 250 other people. This completely transforms customer service from some soft skill into straight-up strategic warfare.
And that warfare, it extends to every single person who represents you. Your client doesn't care if the rude person on the phone is a temp. They don't care if the valet who scratched their car is a subcontractor. To them, it's all you. From their perspective, there is no difference. Every single interaction reflects on your brand, and any weak link can completely shatter your reputation. So let's bring this all together. These pillars don't exist in a vacuum. They form an integrated system of influence. This is the forbidden knowledge they don't teach you in business school because it's too effective, too direct, and let's face it, too shameless. So remember, operate from the shadows because information is leverage. Engineer the Godfather offer to make refusal impossible. Weaponize the narrative because whoever controls the story controls reality. And master the human element because every single interaction is a battlefield for your reputation. You know, these strategies, they aren't good or evil. They're just tools of power. They could be used to build empires or to tear them down. The playbook is now in your hands. So the only question that's left is, how will you use it?